What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Mello with Marty's Buick GMC and Chevrolet, and I've got a lot to say about what just might be the future Corvette's interior design. So let's get into it. Now, I don't always get excited about GM interiors because, let's be honest, nobody usually does, at least up until recently. But when I do, they look like this one, posted by the General Motors design team by their lead interior and performance car studio designer, Brian Gisler. And there's a reason why that last part is so important. And Brian, if I butchered your last name, I'm really sorry. Brian started with GM back in 2010 as a creative design intern, where he created an interior design for the next-gen Chevy Camaro at the time. Then in 2013, he took on a full-time role as creative designer for performance car interiors, and he actually ended up on the C8 interior design team, where, according to his LinkedIn profile, he played an instrumental role in the development of the latest Corvette interior, contributing theme sketches and executing portions of the interior for production. It also says he contributed to several yet-to-be-produced performance programs and worked as lead designer for an internal high-performance vehicle. Now, that went on until 2018 when he moved up from creative designer to lead interior designer for GMC's electric trucks, as well as GM midsize trucks, having a large influence, from my understanding, on the new Canyon and new Colorado. Fast forward things to 2021, and Brian changed positions from lead interior designer focusing on trucks to lead interior designer in the performance car studio. And that is the position he still holds currently, which brings us back to this interior sketch we're looking at on the screen. Now, this was posted on the General Motors Design Instagram account along with the caption, "Beautiful colors in this detailed interior shot by Brian Gisler." And I would have to agree with that caption because, at least for me, this interior is stunning. And it fixes one of my least favorite design elements in the current generation C8, being that long strip of driver comfort buttons, or so they call them. So let's address that first, and then we can talk about the elephant in the room. In the current C8, we have this button layout that runs down the center console. And although it does work and it cleans up the dash, making way for more screen space, it seems like a lazy design to me, if I'm honest, and sorry. If we take a look at this concept photo, it looks like those buttons have been split into two segments positioned on either side of the driver. And I'd imagine that at least this one on the left would be adjustable in order to make it easier to get in and out without having to climb over it. For me, this design looks like more thought was put into it, and it would also be much easier to remember which individual button does what without hitting the wrong button blindly, which is what I seem to kind of constantly do when I first drove the C8, because all of the buttons sort of just flow right into each other with little to no separation. Minor detail, minor complaint, but still. Now, when it comes to the elephant in the room, of course, I'm talking about the Yoke style steering wheel. Now, for this application, I'm 100% okay with it. I know that when it comes to Tesla, the Yoke wheel has been, will be always a really controversial design cue, but for what I consider a real race-inspired car like the Corvette, it works for me. You have that really nice F1 style hand position. It looks like we've got paddle shifters in a great placement. You also get much better visibility of the center screen, and it looks like this car has forged carbon fiber just everywhere, including this bottom section right here of the wheel. In fact, if we zoom in here, you can see more forged carbon fiber on the door panels. We've got forged carbon on the seats and center console section as well. The dashboard layout is extremely driver focused. The screens are curved to give the driver better visibility of all the necessary information. And on the right side, it looks like we have a much more advanced PDR system with built-in track data. I know it's tough to make it out here, but it definitely looks like we're on lap 4, and this is the track layout here that we're driving on. The center screen has our speed, what gear we're in, shift lights, RPM, etc. And on the left, it looks like we've got some driveline info being displayed in a graphic. It could even be showing like tire temp here in a color code, blue being cold tires. And then we've also got our other temps and what looks like a fuel gauge at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is no EV here. In addition to those three main displays, we also have what I can only assume is a heads-up display projector right here, and it almost looks like the entire dash is sort of floating, which I love the look of. And then one of the last things that I noticed was outside the passenger window, because I don't know about you, but that certainly looks like this mock-up design is driving alongside a mid-engine performance car to me. Looks kind of a lot like a C8. The only thing that throws off the idea of this being a Corvette is the black bow tie on the wheel instead of the Corvette logo. But I think this is just way too good for anything else in the GM lineup outside of the Corvette. I mean, Camaro, eh. And considering that the designer was so heavily involved in the C8's interior, it would certainly make sense that this could maybe be a sneak peek at what's to come for the future of Corvette. But let me know what you guys think. And if you made it this far into the video, be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Check out martysparts.com for all your GM OEM parts needs. And I will see you all in the very next video. Thanks again for watching as always. Have a great weekend and take care.